turn 5 in what is shaping up to be the snowiest winter in Minnesota history. We are currently sitting somewhere around 60 inches of snow, and I think that the yearly average is about 80. So we're getting close, as you can tell by the big snow pile behind me. What is the point of all this rambling? Today we are going to talk to you about why having a Porsche, specifically a Porsche Macan S, in the winter is like bringing a walnut to a food fight.
And now that the beauty of the channel is back on the screen,
welcome to the channel!
We can get into the important details of this video, such as...
Okay, so we have had a Porsche Cayenne on the channel for 5 years.
Yeah.
It is fantastic in the snow. I have found an even greater tool for the snow time.
Is it a 911?
No, but your Cayman is getting close. You have driven in this today.
Yeah.
A little commercial break. We have gotten, I don't even know how much snow. We are in a storm. And you drove your Cayman from 1,400 feet of elevation down to, I think it's like 600 feet of elevation.
I thought it was 500.
500 something?
Yeah.
With no issues?
Yep.
All right, back to the channel. The very first reason why a Porsche, specifically this Porsche Macan S, is so fantastic in the winter has to be the ground clearance.
Okay, so what is the ground clearance overall?
So if you're in the lowest setting, which is what we are in now, you are at 6.7 feet, but that would be a lot. You got 6.7 inches of ground clearance.
That sounds like a decent amount.
You go into normal mode.
Okay.
It goes a little bit higher, and then your highest setting is in off-road. When you hit off-road, you get up to 7.8 inches of ground clearance. You don't want to know how much that is? That's this much.
See, since they don't know how far away your fingers were, it was correct the entire time they were moving.
It was 100% objectively factual.
Yes! I find that is very useful because in my Cayman, I was having to be careful driving through some of the snow because some of the areas weren't plowed good enough, and I was snow plowing them myself. Honestly,
in the lowest setting at 6.7 inches, you can pretty much get through almost anything. So today I did a little test. I drove to work in off-road mode.
Yep.
7.8 inches of clearance. I thought that the torque split was more 50-50, which it is at lower speeds, but when you're going at 40-50 miles an hour, the torque splits back to a rear bias deal. That's the second thing. The torque split, the German engineering, I don't know, they're in the lab, they're like, well, I think that we need to be able to go through the snow, so we will make this a perfecto. That's very non-German.
No, I don't know what impression it was, but it was bad.
What I'm trying to say is that the way that Porsche engineers have engineered this behemoth of a beast to manage snow and traction is unlike anything I've ever been in. No American car can get close to the way that this puts power to the ground in any amount of snow. To prove how objectively factual I am relating the Porsche Macan S to being the greatest SUV on the planet, specifically in the winter, let's go through a rundown of the cars that we have personally owned and driven in the winter.
Okay, so first, we're gonna only go with the cars that we've driven in the winter on the channel. So let's start with the All-Track.
So the All-Track was good. That's a Volkswagen All-Track. Fantastic car. I wish kind of that we still had it. I like it for a variety of reasons, but it was good in the winter. The issue was the gap between the wheel and the fender, which I love because it was almost nothing. Snow got stuck in there all the time.
Yep.
But okay, it was okay in the winter.
And then next, let's go in order of they showed up in our garages. My GTIs. Let's just use both of them.
Both GTIs were good, correct?
Yep. The problem was they were front wheel drive.
The understeer is tougher to manage than oversteer.
It really is.
I don't know how to explain it, but I would rather oversteer than understeer. At least you can control an oversteer. If you're understeering going straight, you can't control that.
No.
So your GTIs, I would say, were probably the worst.
I would argue that,
in the
yeah.
winter.
And then next, let's go with the Tiguan.
Tiguan was good. We had that for 2 or 3 years in the winter. It was good, except for just the Tiguan platform in general is a little down on power.
Yep.
So in the winter, when you really wanted to get through some snow, sometimes it would like cut out. It was trying to save you.
Yep.
And it did, but that was a little bit of an annoyance. But I would say that the Tiguan, out of the cars we've just discussed, has been the best.
And then the Cayenne.
The Cayenne, which we still have, is brilliant.
It is.
Best car I've ever driven in the winter. You feel as confident as you do in the summer. And I'm not really exaggerating too much. It is fantastic.
I've recently driven the Cayenne, and I can agree, it feels just fine. Like, you feel the road is not completely put down to pavement, but you don't really notice that it's a problem.
And then the next car, let's go with your Cayman.
Okay.
Dumb car to drive in the winter.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just going to say that. Objectively, factually, it's a dumb car to drive in the winter.
But fun!
It is fun, and it is surprisingly planted.
Yes.
As long as you have 4.7 inches of ground clearance, is that what it is?
I think it's somewhere in there. I thought it was 4.5.
4.4 inches of ground clearance,
Yeah.
which isn't that much. It will go through anything that you put it through. Like we said earlier, you went through this.
Yep. And then also the Jeep.
The Jeep was actually one of the worst cars we had in the winter.
Yeah.
It was four-wheel drive. Whenever there was snow, you had to drive it in four-wheel drive.
Yes, you did.
Maybe we didn't use it right. Maybe we weren't used to it. But it was probably the worst handling winter vehicle we had.
Yeah. It's right up there with the GTIs. Those are neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get around and you're not going to crash, God willing, but it was probably the worst one that we've owned in the stable.
So out of comparison, the Macan S is better than all of them?
Yes, and the Macan S is just a notch up from the Cayenne, and I think that it has to do with a generational gap.
Okay.
So our Cayenne GTS is a 2008.
Yep.
This is a 2015.
Oh, baller!
We bumped generations, and therefore probably those German engineers.
Are you doing Italian?
I have no idea. I'm bad at talking in general, so I don't even know why I'm trying to.
Why are you doing accents then?
But the Macan S is the greatest car I've ever owned and ever driven in the winter.
And I just want to give them a perspective. There is supposed to be some lanes here, and there aren't lanes on the road right now because of how much snow there is.
You just pick it anywhere in between the snowbank.
And you hope that the oncoming car picks the other side.
Let's show them this torque split. So you can see live what your torque split is. We are driving in normal mode, and what you can see is you probably got a very accurate 17% going to the front tires, objectively, factually. But as you go around corners or as you increase speed from a stop sign, it just knows what you're trying to do and it puts the torque more to the front wheels. Fantastic. And I want to take you to the outside of the car for one reason why we've always had good luck in the winter, but specifically what makes our cars get through this like a sleigh cutting through, well, snow, I guess. Now, although the Porsche Macan S is the greatest winter SUV on the planet, a lot of credit has to be given to the Blizzak DM V2.
You're throwing up some gang signs there.
The V2s. With every car that we have driven in the winter, we have either Blizzaks or you are now trying the Nokian Hockey Paluta. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Get rid of your pickup truck.
Yep.
get rid of your American SUV.
Yep.
Go to Porsche St. Paul.
And buy a Macan.
Buy a Porsche Macan or a Cayenne. At least take one for a test drive with winter tires. You will never, ever buy an American vehicle again.
Or buy a Cayman and put winter tires on it yourself.
Oh yeah, awkward high five. Make sure you guys click like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time when hopefully there is a sun in the sky.
And comment if you think there's a vehicle that could do better than this in the winter.
Good luck.